Hi, I'm Izzy Allers.
And I'm Riley Bridges.
I'm the director
I'm the DP.
of Conflict of Interest. This is our first short film, and we're going to talk about the experience. The plot of this film is a story about this girl who finds herself really down on her luck in the lowest period of her life and tries to end her life, but isn't able to do it, so she hires a hitman, and it's the story of that.
So obviously being the DP, the process for this film was a little bit unique because this is my first actual full effort being a DP for a short film. So obviously starting in August is when we started writing the script. Izzy obviously had this idea a while back, I think a few years. So we were excited to actually act on it. So after that, obviously we started brainstorming what camera to use, lighting techniques, actors obviously, because that was a very important part of this. Luckily we found two very good actors, Johnny and Kristen. And obviously as the script was done, met up with our actors, made sure they were the right fit for the roles, and then started crewing out as best we could. Obviously we had just us two as the main people working on this. And obviously from my perspective, the DP side, trying to figure out the camera setups and stuff like that, working with Izzy because obviously we both like to do camera things. And then editing was another beast of a challenge. Obviously we both are not editors. I think we found this out throughout this process.
Yeah.
A pretty fun process overall, and obviously we both learned a lot. So
It was also a very long process from start to finish. We started in August. Like he said, I came up with this idea, simply just a notes app thing I had written in 2021, I think, so 3 years ago.
yeah.
And I just thought it'd be cool to adapt it. But what I wrote in my notes app was a paragraph for a story, and we had to flesh it out into a full, 10-minute or more long script. And that was very difficult because I like writing scripts, but I'm no script writer for sure. So figuring out plot points and dialogue is my biggest issue. So that was fun to try to figure out how to make it sound more natural.
Yeah.
The process once we started shooting was very fun for me. I mean, he said it too. We both like production. We both like doing lighting, figuring out camera rigs, and moving, and how to create shots and create cool atmospheres with camera and lighting, all that stuff. So it's very interesting to work with him on this big of a thing because we never actually really worked on something like this before. And for me specifically, I do love camera stuff, but it was a very interesting take to mostly let him be the DP and let him do it because I trusted him to make the shots, and so we were able to work through how we wanted it to look with him doing camera and me kind of directing the actors and everything else. And I think it worked really well on set and even off set when we're doing editing.
Yeah.
We both have pretty similar takes on everything, so it makes it a lot easier. So we're not clashing a whole bunch. But yes, we're not editors, so the past 3 or 4 months have been really rough.
So I'd say my favorite part of the whole entire process of this film was obviously the production aspect, getting to work with her and the other actors as well, trying to figure out how to best convey the story through the camera movements, lighting, blocking as well. Was definitely a challenge, but it was fun. It was enjoyable. I think every production day was very enjoyable. Some days were longer than others. I think our longest was 10 hours or whatever it was.
I think 12.
12.
We had one shoot
in
day
the apartment.
12. Yep.
Yeah, we did the apartment shoot. That was the longest, but I think those are some of the best shots. I know the last shot of the film with Kristen, that was one of our favorite shots, just because of how dynamic it was with the gimbal and the jib and everything. So I think just the whole production aspect was definitely my favorite. So what about you?
My favorite part as of right now has been watching it come together in the edit booth. Obviously we're not editors and we're learning and figuring stuff out as we go. This is our first day of post-production, real post-production. And we're trying to sync audio, or not sync audio, what are we doing? Labeling audio, and Premiere isn't working. each step that we've gone through to add something to it has made me a little bit more excited to see it, and so I think that's my favorite part. Like, you know, we did a bunch of Foley, so then we added that all in, and we it started coming together, you know, all the spaces were being created, and it kind of added that little added a little bit of magic in there that we didn't really see before.
Yeah, and I know at first we both agreed that the editing wouldn't have been the most fun, but I think the Foley as well. Recording the Foley, we got to record it in one of the post suites we have here on campus, and it was like a super sound deadening room, and we just had obviously a microphone set up with like a little source monitor, I guess you call it, and just trying to sync up all the audio, I think was super cool. We'd never done that before, so it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest thing I've learned was like how important like collaboration is in communication for sure. I mean, when you're working with two big like roles like this, communication is very important. So just letting the other person know like how you're feeling about a certain shot, or like the lighting of the scene, or even just the acting in general. I know like obviously she was in charge of like how the actors were like, you know, talking and conveying their lines, but I think just how that comes off to the camera as well is important. So I think communication was a big thing I learned throughout this.
Something I learned while working with trained actors was that they are, you know, really good at what they do. When they show up, they are ready to go. And something that I was lacking as the director and also scriptwriter was I didn't give a lot of motivation or depth to the characters at the time. And so our two main actors would come and they'd ask what the motivation, what the character's feeling in that day, and I would kind of be at a loss of words, and I didn't feel great about that. And I learned that now, moving forward, working on something else, I would know to create the character beyond the script and beyond what they're seeing on screen, so that our actors have more content of the character to work with and help give them that depth, which is something that is really important.
So I'd say my favorite memory throughout this entire process, I think the first shoot, the Cinematographer shoot, when we had both actors there, we got to meet them and kind of see their dynamic and how they like meshed together. And I think obviously before we even started filming, they obviously started like running lines together. I think just having them there and seeing how they like communicate and stuff like that, and obviously setting up the shots and seeing how good they look, very exciting. I was like, this is gonna be like look better than we thought it was. So I think that was like one of my most favorite memories.
The first one that came to mind was the apartment shoot day, because that was like our first and kind of only like super long. We did a bunch of scenes in one day.
Tired afterwards.
Yeah, we were there for 12 hours, and like it was really fun, but it was also, I think it came to mind because it was really interesting how we would have to like move everything every time. So we would do like a bunch of the bedroom scenes, and so we'd have to move all the gear out of the bedroom to do that stuff in there. But then we'd be out in the other two rooms, so we'd have to move all the gear back into the bedroom. And it was just like a fun, because we were like a little well-oiled machine in that small apartment, working for that long, and definitely didn't hang some lights over a balcony. But we didn't do that. If Steve Vachon is watching this video. Also, just to throw it out there, the Foley recording day we had was really fun too. We locked ourselves away in that sound booth for about 5 hours, maybe 4. We just brought a bunch of props and everything and locked ourselves away and just started recording stuff, and it was, very much worth it, obviously, but it was also just funny.
That'd be funny shit. Okay.
Oh my
What's
God.
next?
Yep.
And scene. Oh, this was not recording.